Folks, it's me, the one and only Purple Triangle. Purple Pyramid. Well, what am I? I mean, I guess technically I am a three-dimensional shape, so the one and only Purple Pyramid shaped YouTuber. And I'm coming back at you with a new My Experience with the Franchise. Now, I know it's been a bit. Fuck, it's Sock Guy.
A bit? Oh, don't make me laugh. Well, I guess you already did. Try 2 fucking years? What took you so long? You triangular fuck?
Whoa, Sock Guy, come on, man, I've been busy.
Busy? Doing what? Sanding down your backside in the mirror to make such a plump, round, juicy hair. I mean, sanding your points?
Wait, what?
Ooh, I'm a purple 5-pointed triangle guy. Look at me. I'm so cool. You can really tell by my stupid sunglasses and the way I wear my hat. Notice it's on backwards? I'm so fucking extreme. I mean, even my foot fungus had enough time to grow, multiply, gain sentience, and start its own YouTube channel.
It's been a rough 2 years. I've just lost track of time. I'm sorry.
Stupid.
No, I was gonna say I'm sorry.
Lazy? You were gonna say you're lazy, right?
No, I'm sorry.
Ugly.
Sock Guy, I'm trying to apologize. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, fuck you.
Recap time. In the first video, we looked at 3 of the most influential and impactful Zelda games I played growing up. A Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, and Twilight Princess. The first Zelda game that introduced me to the Zelda franchise was Twilight Princess at the youthful age of 7, thanks to my sister that was a massive Zelda fan at the time. Anyways, we got matching Zelda tattoos, yada yada yada. I mentioned how much the game scared me as a kid, and unintentionally said the word epic far too many times within only a span of 1 minute. Epic. We go on to talk about The Link to the Past being the first Zelda game I played. How great the Zelda game's music is, being a staple of the franchise. Then by the end of the video, we talk about Ocarina of Time. I proceed to go on praising Zelda's music for 3 hours. We talk a lot about the plot, how well Zelda games immerse the player into the world with music. We continue by going on about the franchise and how it's known for 4 big things. It's puzzles, dungeon crawling, and exploration. Oh, and we can't forget about the music. There we go! We talked a lot about Zelda music. I really like Zelda music. And that was pretty much the gist of the first video. In this video, we're going to dive into 3 more Zelda games that left an impression on me about the franchise. Spirit Tracks, Skyward Sword, and the latest installment in the Zelda series, Breath of the Wild.
Jeez! I sure hope this isn't gonna be another 15-minute long video of you talking about Zelda music. While the title clearly states, my experience with the Zelda franchise, not my experience listening to Zelda music. Might as well call it Purple Nerd's Top Zelda Song.
Okay, I admit it, okay? The first video was poorly done. I didn't write a script, it was bad. Okay, I winged it, and I ended up making a really bad video, but look at the bright side, okay? This video is going to be everything the first one wasn't, and I've gotten a lot better at editing, and this one's scripted, and... Sock Guy? Did he really just fall asleep in the middle of me talking? Sock Guy!
What?
The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks came out on the Nintendo DS on December 7th, 2009. My sister got it a few months later in 2010. I just turned 9 a bit before, and I've only ever played a small handful of Zelda games. Being a sequel to The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass, it didn't much deviate from its predecessor's gameplay much. In fact, it's almost a carbon copy of the Phantom Hourglass formula, except, this time around, Link has a fucking train. The one thing I remember I really liked about the game growing up was instead of having some annoying fairy or sword spirit as your adventure companion, you were actually accompanied by Princess Zelda herself. the spirit of Zelda actually, which incorporated really well with the game's puzzles and gameplay. Zelda can possess big bulky fucking knight dudes in armor, shit is fucking what? I was so young that I've nearly forgotten a lot about how I felt about the game and the experiences I had with it along the way. The only reason it's here in the video is because there's a lot of nostalgia behind this game for me. I played it recently, and not even an hour in, I start feeling a warm feeling. Like I'm a kid experiencing this game all over again for the first time. And that's how I know that this game meant a lot to me growing up. Wish I was able to recall exactly what I thought 13 years ago. The one thing I remember vividly though was seeing the commercial of the game and being so excited.
Next stop, Hyrule. Link and Zelda team up in an all-new epic adventure, The Legend of Zelda: Spirit Tracks.
But I guess those memories have just faded with time, but the feelings I have still linger. The Legend of Zelda: Skyward Sword.
Oh, let me guess. You hate it.
No. It's one of my favorite Zelda games, actually.
What are you talking about? Everyone hates it. Oh, I see what's going on here. Look at me. I'm Mr. Unique and Different. I have unpopular gaming opinions, so that makes me interesting.
Why are you so fucking mean, sock guy?
I wasn't always this way, you know. My heart used to be so soft, sweet, and full of life. But now it's hard, crusty, and decayed. Although still full of life.
Anyways... The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword released on November 18th, 2011 on the Wii. I absolutely love this game to death, and I don't really get all the hate it gets. It has a very visually appealing art style, meshing the best of Wind Waker's cel-shaded cartoony goodness with Twilight Princess's dark and gritty atmosphere. The story is by far, in my own personal opinion, the best the series so far has to offer, telling us the tale that started it all, being a prequel to all the other Zelda games before. And don't even get me started on the music!
Oh, brother!
Shut up! This game had some of the best dungeons in the franchise. In general, it had its own personality, which I really enjoyed. It's an amazing Zelda installment with so much to offer, and I can't stress enough how much this game meant to me. This is the game that made me a Zelda fan, that actually got me into these games. Now with all that said, as much as I like this game, it does come with its own fair share of issues. One thing that really bothered me was this game was exclusively motion controlled, and that really fucking turned me off. I want to just sit back, relax, and kick my feet up. Okay? Like every other game. But you're telling me I had to fucking swing a Wiimote around to fucking act like I'm swinging a sword and fucking thrust a nunchuck fucking forward and make just like no! I eventually got used to it, but honestly, it never felt right. Luckily though, on July 16th, 2021, they released a HD remake of the game on the Nintendo Switch and totally fixed my only gripe with it. I know there's folks out there that call Skyward Sword too linear, but I honestly like how linear it was, because it gave the game a chance to tell an amazing story, unlike Breath of the Wild's open world that was so free that it was lacking pretty heavily in the storytelling department. And hey, I'll play devil's advocate and say that maybe it was a bit repetitive in some ways, but in my full-hearted opinion, the pros of this legendary title completely outweighs the game's cons. Now maybe I'm being a bit nostalgia blinded, maybe I'm not thinking rationally, but this game was the game that made me fall in love with the Zelda franchise, and that's really all that matters. And finally, the latest game in the Zelda franchise, Breath of the Wild. Not a bad game by any means. In fact, I've always referred to this game as a masterpiece of a game, but on the other hand, an average Zelda game. It did some things right and got some things wrong. I don't want to turn this into some kind of anti-Breath of the Wild video, but there are some things that just can't be ignored. But before we dive into my opinions on the game, let's talk more about my experience with it. Breath of the Wild was released on March 3rd, 2017, and was a dual release, coming out on both the Wii U and the Nintendo Switch on the same day. I was a 16-year-old that was very excited to finally play the game after waiting since 2014. The first teaser was personally the most exciting thing I, as a 13-year-old at the time, ever experienced. And finally, the game was in my hands. I originally played the Wii U version of the game and enjoyed every second of it. But now looking back in retrospect, I've noticed and realized some things after replaying the game on the Switch quite recently that I didn't at the time. The open world was a nice addition, but it did take some things away from the experience, like the lack of actual in-game story. The last Zelda game I played before Breath of the Wild was Skyward Sword, which was incredibly story-driven, and Breath of the Wild left me starving for more than it gave us. I mean, I know there's these memory core flashback things you can find while exploring Hyrule, but I don't want to go on some goddamn scavenging hunt. I want to be force-fed the plot via game progression. And with Breath of the Wild's too free of an open world, I'm guessing that just wasn't possible. I mean, right out the gate, after finishing up the tutorial on the Great Plateau, you can immediately fight the fucking final boss of the game if you wanted to. You'll definitely get the shit kicked out of you, but hey, that's an option. I know some people dislike the breaking weapons mechanic part of the game, but it really didn't bother me. And I just want to clarify, okay? I enjoyed Breath of the Wild a lot. I don't hate the game. It just wouldn't be my pick for the best Zelda game. And I know, I've kind of indirectly said I wasn't gonna dive too much into Zelda music in this video, but fuck it. This Zelda title wasn't only lacking in the storytelling department, but also the fucking bop department. I get it, okay? The overworld mood was set for peaceful and serene exploration, and I guess the music just supports that experience to make the game more rich, but it was incredibly underwhelming. A few piano notes here and there, and an occasional track that smacks, like the Talus battle theme, Cass's theme, Prince Sidon's theme, and Hyrule Castle, which was just a remix of the main Zelda theme. Other than that, you'll probably just hear this. It was definitely an epic adventure that I'll remember for a very, very long time, but I honestly wish that they just delved more into the Zelda side of the game, if that makes any sense. I also kinda don't like that Breath of the Wild's success gave rise to multiple open world games that had the same grassy plain environment. It feels unoriginal and almost empty wastelandy. Now, every post-Breath of the Wild open world game looks the exact same. Look at Pokemon Legends Arceus, Scarlet and Violet, Genshin Impact, Sonic Frontiers. All the same boring generic Unity map environments. Once again, amazing game, average Zelda game. Woo! What a fucking doozy. The video is about over, but before we go, I and a bunch of creators and Zelda fans put together a compilation talking about Zelda and why we love it so much. And without further ado, please take a watch.
When I was a little shit-eater, the only gaming device I had was like the original DS. My only two games were Castlevania 1 and The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. And being a dumb kid, obviously I enjoyed one more than the other. I spent so long in that Zelda game, and I had never even gotten to the end. But being able to explore a world on my DS anywhere I went was definitely my gateway to gaming, and I owe it all to Link's unnamed uncle.
I truly cherish The Wind Waker as my favorite Zelda. I mean, the game practically raised me, but almost as importantly, it epitomizes everything I love in Zelda. It's the game in the series that showed that they're willing to play around with art styles, and in my opinion, it absolutely nailed it. There hasn't been a Zelda before or since that holds up as well visually, unless you count like Breath of the Wild, whatever. And like so many Zelda stories, it is quintessential high adventure from humble beginnings. Starting with the all-too-common Zelda trope of waking from a deep sleep to fighting and clawing to become a hero to all the characters you helped along the way, your world in Zelda always starts small but expands to be so much more than you expected to begin with. There's stories that are uncomplicated and memorable, and worlds that feel like they're living and breathing.
I've never played Zelda before.
My favorite Zelda game has to be The Legends of Zelda Spirit Tracks for the Nintendo DS. Why is it my favorite Zelda game, you may ask? Well, for one, it's got a train. It's got great bosses and mini-bosses, great dungeons and puzzles, great music, the sacred duets, and Brian, the best clutch player in any Zelda game. May I go on, but I really can't right now. And that is why I love The Legends of Zelda.
Thanks to everyone who helped me with this video. It took about a month to finish, and I'm really happy with the finished product. Anyway...
Oh, thank God this video's about over. It's been such a drag. A complete waste of time. I mean, this one was even worse than the first one, and I didn't think that was possible. Huh? What's that? It's a Nerf gun? Wow, Trying to make your videos more kid-friendly, eh? What a joke! Oh! Oh! You...
Fuck.
You shot me.
Oh no! Fuck!
Oh.
Fuck! What am I? Shit! Sockeye, are you okay? Oh God! What have I done?
Oh, God.
What have I done? Oh my God! So
Oh.
sorry, man. I'm so
You know,
sorry, dude. I don't know what happened.
Toxic. I was saving this for the end.
Yeah. What?
My last. Zing.
Tell me.
Look on the bright side, buddy. At least this video came out before Breath of the Wild Part 2. BAM!
No! What have I done? No! Sockeye. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, David, hi.
Hey, what's up, man?
Maybe right now is not a really good time.
What happened?
I just killed Sockeye.
That's cool. Anyways, where the fuck is part 2, bro? I'm literally sitting here